Delighted to be joined on the show today by the director of An Taibhse, John Farrelly. Hi John, how are you doing?
Hi, how are you? Thanks for having me.
Yeah, not bad. Thanks for joining us. So we'll just get straight into it then. An Taibhse, The Ghost, is your film that's going to be shown at Frightfest this year in Glasgow. The first Irish language horror. How did this kind of start for you? What was the kind of kernel that's grown into this movie?
Yeah, so the story began from an idea I had based on a true story of someone close to me. The ending or what the movie really is about, and I wanted to choose a setting that like the character would feel the most isolated and trapped in, and I thought one of Ireland's most horrific periods in history is like the Great Famine. And I thought by having the film set just during the tail end of the famine, it would like really highlight and put the character Máire like in a situation where she's completely trapped, and to keep it authentic and keep it true to the real Ireland, I wanted to have it in the Irish language. So we didn't set out initially to create like the first Irish language horror film. It was really just to keep it authentic to that setting, and then it's just a bonus that it's in the Irish language. But yeah, it's great to see more and more films made in the Irish language because it is our language, and it's just yeah. So it's I'm just happy that yeah we've made it in the Irish language, and there's more and more be made in the Irish language.
Yeah, yeah, it gives that kind of authenticity to it. As you say, coming at the end of the Great Famine, there is a lot of kind of isolation themes in it as well, and big hard struggles that the characters of Máire and Éamon, played by Livy Hill and Tom Kerrisk, you can tell they've kind of been struggling previously, coming into this new situation, isolated from. It's mentioned that they've lived in Belfast. We won't go too spoiler heavy, just to know we're too far into it. But so was that something again that you wanted to work with? That feeling of it is just the two of them; they only have each other, and it has an impact on them overall throughout the film as well.
Yeah, like after the famine and like the devastation it caused in Ireland, there were no opportunities at all for anyone, and um, obviously them getting this job as a caretakers in this rural mansion, like they're forced to be there. They don't have any other choice. There is no other work. So, and obviously Moira being like a young girl, the daughter of Éamon, she has to go with him and she's stuck there. And obviously she would like to be back in Belfast with her friends and, you know, back in school, but she's forced to be there. And that also yeah, adds the isolation, like how she's trapped, but there is no other choice. Like she can't, like they can't do anything. And the themes of, without going into spoilers, but like abuse and control, like by having it in that setting where there is no like there's no chance that she can leave. And obviously during that time the issues that the film addresses were prevalent at the time and aren't really talked about. Yeah, it's awkward trying to talk about this without giving away the spoiler of the end,
Yeah,
but having it yeah in that setting, I did like looking at it as a character. um it just made it a lot harder for her to escape. And for an audience watching, you know that she is trapped, and the only way to escape is to overcome what is, you know, attacking her or harming her.
yeah, yeah. Um, so you had, as I said, Livy Hill and Tom Kerrisk. I've seen you've worked with them, seen on IMDb. You've worked with them before. Are they Irish language speakers naturally? Do they know the language?
Yeah, so Tom is an Irish language speaker, but Liv isn't. And she learned her lines phonetically,
Mm-hmm.
which was a big challenge. But Rebecca Monaghan, who worked on the film as an assistant director, she recorded all of Liv's lines and would send it to her, and then Liv would break it down into the actual sounds, and then learned it that way. So it was a long process of like pre-production and a lot of rehearsals to make sure we got it nailed. But in Ireland we have different dialects of Irish, and Tom spoke a different dialect. So he had to learn Ulster Irish for this, which is not as like nowhere near as much work as what Liv had to do with learning it completely from scratch. But
Mm.
yeah, they were Irish speakers. Yeah. Well, not no, Tom was an Irish speaker, Liv wasn't.
And you speak it yourself as well? Cool. So obviously you would have to because it would be much more difficult for directing if you didn't.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So with the kind of, you did talk on the themes that are introduced in it. Was it always your idea to have it, again, try and go, have it ambiguous, to make it people think could be something that it's not, or to leave the kind of wee breadcrumbs throughout the movie as you do?
Yeah, like I wanted to misdirect the audience a bit.
Mm.
Well, yeah, a lot actually throughout it. But then in a way that connects to the reveal at the end. So
Mm-hmm.
when you rewatch it, or if you think back on it, you go, "Oh, that does make sense now." Um, like yeah, like by adding all these other like supernatural elements, I suppose a lot of it is psychological horror. So you can play
Mm-hmm.
around with that, and obviously that's masking the true horrors of what was going on in the story. But
Yeah.
yeah, using that, like I thought it was important to try for as long as possible, keep the audience um like oblivious to what is actually going on, and then just slowly and surely they will start to figure out, hey, maybe there's something else going on. Obviously, the presence of the Taibhse, the ghost,
Mm.
starts with less and less as they go on, and it starts tackling their some of the real horrors
Yeah.
of what went on at the time. But yeah, it was like a mix between trying to misdirect the audience so they wouldn't straight away guess the ending, as well as keeping it true and authentic to what the character was feeling and obviously what was happening. So there are clues like very early on. There's like a I don't want to go too much in that, but yeah,
Yeah, no, it's hard. Yeah. You obviously you do get the scares, and they're very effective at a great time of the film. Looking at it in terms of your influences when writing and directing, for me watching it, there was elements of kind of gothic horror. Also, looking at even Kubrick's The Shining as well, with isolation. What was your main draw? Did you try and go in clean without using very specific inspiration for it, or was there something that you kind of kept referring to that would give you that kind of extra nudge?
yeah. Well, The Shining was definitely a big
Mm.
influence. It's one of my favorite films of all time, my favorite horror
Yeah.
film, and it thematically it's quite similar with the
Mm-hmm.
isolation. Yeah, like other things without going into spoilers, but yeah, The Shining definitely. But then like in terms of like the visual style and like the atmosphere, like I love Robert Eggers' work,
Right.
and
Okay. Yeah.
that kind of like trying to keep it like authentic and real, and then like for example The Witch. But then there's other films that weren't even horrors that inspired it, like for example Spencer, um having like a character in a big house and feeling trapped and isolated, and a lot of it's in the psychological. So there are a lot of different influences. Like I go back to like the Hateful Eight for the sound design, like having
Mm.
that blizzard sound outside to make it feel like they're trapped, even if they do escape and just run away, like they can't,
Mm.
they'll die from the natural element. So like yeah, there's many different influences that like I inspired like from all the different aspects of production, like, from sound design, the cinematography, camera movement, everything, the writing. Yeah, loads of different influences, but the main one would be The Shining.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely. I can see it, and it works really well in your story. The cinematography, I think, is great as well. Lots of shots of some of the great shots. When Máire's standing in the doorway, she's discussing the library. I thought that was a fantastic shot. And then at night, when it's all candle lit, it didn't feel certainly like it had any unnatural light. It all felt very authentic. And was that easy to get during there? Obviously, whereabouts did you film it actually?
Yeah, we shot it in different blocks. So originally the film started off as a university project. So we went down and shot a short film, and we all, like, this is back in November 2021. And then we saw the results of the short film. We were like, oh, we should make it into the feature, because it was a short based on the feature script.
Yeah.
And then we went back then a few months later and shot the rest of it as a feature. But we shot it on like no budget at all. It was all independent completely.
Right.
And therefore, when it comes to lighting, we didn't have all these big natural lights, or not big practical lights. So we had to use natural light as much as we could, because that's what it had, like what we really had. But also, I think it keeps it true and real, because whenever he's walking around the house at night, the only thing lighting that like room up or the corridor up is just the candle. So like that was tricky as well, because the camera we had didn't have the best ISO settings. So like it was kind of like playing with like our camera settings and the light as well. And then because I color graded it, a lot of denoising because whenever you're boosting the ISO, like you're trying to hit that sweet spot of like, and like, is it bright enough versus noisy enough, and then denoising. But for filming throughout the actual house, I have this app on my phone that tracks the sun and tells you where it'll be at certain points of the day. So we would, obviously the backlight every scene, we would go around and go, okay, these are the rooms at these times. At like this time we can shoot in that room, this time we can shoot in that room where the sun is. So our day and our schedule would revolve around where the sun was, where we would shoot in the house. So using the natural light to like the best that we could, you know. So that's kind of how we planned out each scene and structured it all.
So a mixture of kind of old school filmmaking and modern technology just to help you kind of get through it.
Yeah.
That's cool. And you get some great shots, as I said. I think your two performers, obviously, it does base mostly around. There's two other characters show up very, very briefly, based around Máire and Éamon. They're both performances, are fantastic, and having them as your kind of center of the movie, if they didn't work, then the movie doesn't work.
Yeah.
And everything just kind of comes together really well, as you said, with the sound design as well. So with Tom, so was he one that you shot it with? Is he someone you know from uni, or is that something else that just you've met him through?
Yeah, so I worked with Tom on a film I made previously called The Sleep Experiment, and after that, we got on really well. And Tom he's unbelievable. He's such a great actor and an unbelievable guy. And like any role, like he fully commits himself 100%. Before we shot this, he got a job working on the site, like just building and like out in the elements, to get like his, like, you know, that look, that physical look of someone that is like outside working, and then like fully like just listening to the Irish, changes the radio, his phone, everything was just complete Irish, just to fully immerse himself in the role. And he does that with every role. And he's so amazing to work with. So I just knew whenever I had the script, like, Tom is the guy. And then Liv as well, phenomenal actor. I'd worked with her on a few projects in university because she was actually in my course, cinematic arts, and we'd worked together on a few different projects. And then she actually said to me, "Oh, do you have any roles for any upcoming films? I'd love to challenge myself." And I was like, "Well, actually, I have an idea for this one, and it might be a bit challenging." And then, sure enough, she had to learn an entire feature-length script in a language that she didn't speak, and film it in the winter, the cold winter. And she also like created her own costumes. So like I gave her
Nice.
references. She was able to, because she does costume as well, and she was able to like build her own, create her own, like from scratch. So yeah, it's both of them great.
Yeah, everything you've put together, the whole package just works really well. It gives that, as I said, that authenticity. The performances are brilliant. So I think you've shown it at. Have you shown it at Galway yet, or have you seen an article? Has that been already?
Yeah, it premiered at the Galway Film Festival. Yeah.
Yeah. And next up, obviously, is Glasgow. Are you excited for that? Looking forward to. Are you coming
Oh
over
yeah,
for it?
London.
London. Sorry, I'm saying Glasgow. I'm in Glasgow. Yeah, London.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah, no, really excited for London. To be in Leicester Square, like it's
mm,
dream come true kind of thing for us all. So yeah, we're really excited, and like to be part of Fright Fest, such a prestigious horror film festival. Like
mm,
for us to be playing, the first Irish language horror film there, like we're extremely proud and just
yeah,
thankful for Fright Fest for allowing us to play the film there.
yeah. Have you been before to Fright Fest?
No, this will be my first time, so
Nice.
excited.
Me myself, I've never been actually as well. Been a couple in the Glasgow one. Why I keep mentioning Glasgow. Yeah, it'll be. I'm sure it'll be a fantastic experience. And as I said, the film's definitely one that people should be checking out. I know a lot of the people at Fright Fest anyway. They're there for the day, so they'll get that chance to check it out and hopefully get the reception it deserves as well. After this, do you have any plans moving forward? What's next for you? Anything in particular?
Well, when it comes to An Taibhse, there's a few more film festivals, but I can't say just yet.
Fair
Uh,
enough.
I'm not allowed to. But I'm working on another Irish language film at the moment, but it's not a horror. It's a coming of age romance, so it's complete opposite to this.
Nice.
But working on that at the moment in development, and another film, another Irish language film in development too, based on Irish mythology. So
Okay.
there's a few different projects on the go, but at the moment now it's full steam ahead on Taibhse and just getting out there
Yeah.
and showing it to audiences.
Yeah. Excellent. John, again, thanks very much for joining us. Good luck at Fright Fest. I'm sure you'll get on great down there. A lot of good people down there as well, and the film deserves it. So, congratulations, and see you next time.
Thank you very much. Really appreciate it.